Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 Remake announced. Nintendo shows off a new Paper Mario game. Ubisoft's digital press conference, Ubi Forward. The Guerrilla Indie Collective Showcase. And the Unreal Engine 5 is revealed in spectacular fashion due to Summer Game Fest. This is the Sidescape Game Report. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sidescape Game Report for the week of May 11th to May 15th, 2020. This is James St. Charles, and I'm Jake Burke. We've got a packed show this week, so before we even get to the news, James, we're going to begin with our news section that we call Reveals and Updates, because there were a lot of them this week, and if we had a news story for every single one of them, we'd be here for 4 hours. So James, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some noteworthy things, bullet points, and then we'll talk about all of them afterwards. Sounds good? Okay. So Iron Man VR's new release date is July 3rd. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 is a remake of the first two games in 4K, revealed by Summer Game Fest of Jeff Keighley, with the release date of September 4th, 2020. It will cost around $40 and is available for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Nintendo unveils Paper Mario: The Origami King for Switch that comes out July 17th. And the Mafia trilogy, remasters of Mafia, Mafia 2, and Mafia 3 are coming, and more details are coming May 19th. So what do you think about all this kind of new news?
Whole lot of remakes, which is a good thing.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's
exciting.
I'm excited for like older remakes, and it's actually funny, on the Sidescape Gaming podcast, we were talking about what games franchises we wanted to reboot, and Skate and Tony Hawk was mentioned.
Tony Hawk, yep. And
we're getting, I mean, it's not a reboot, but it is essentially like a remake. It's, you know, much more akin to Final Fantasy VII remake than just a remaster. I feel like
we were talking shit because like the past Tony Hawk games, like the recent ones were pretty bad,
like
and we're like, oh, Tony Hawk sucks, and then we're like, man, why didn't we just mention the remasters? Like, that's a potential that they could have done.
I know, and
but they have done it before, from what I've heard.
Yes, there's an HD game.
Yeah, there's an HD.
PS3 and Xbox 360, I think, is where it is. Yeah,
I think yeah, PS3 had.
But hey,
I don't know about that.
I'm excited. If I get to skate through Warehouse one more time, I'm so excited. I was
listening, and then they have the old songs. That's what I heard. They got them all.
And the HD version did not have most of the old songs.
Nope.
So they got, you know, Superman by Gold.
Huge thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait. So, anything else that jumps out at you? I'm very excited for Mafia Trilogy.
Yeah, I never played Mafia.
Me neither.
And Mafia 2 is still very playable. I've seen a recent playthrough, and the quality graphics on PC look good.
Okay.
So when they were showing like comparisons between the 2 remake and the old 2, it's almost pretty good because there's been like so much touch up on the PC.
Yeah.
But 1 is what needed it. 1 is almost unplayable. It looks like old Grand Theft Auto 3 graphics. So
well, and I've heard that
I'm excited for that.
1 and 2 are really good games that were very underplayed, and 3 is supposed to be pretty good, but it's got a lot of like weird. There's no fast travel, so you have to travel like via car to every location. It gets like cumbersome. But I'm very excited to play Mafia. I mean, I really haven't touched those games, so I'm very.
I have a question. Do you like 1-to-1 remakes, or do you like when they remake a game and like add common themes that are like nowadays seen as, oh yeah, I expect that to be in my.
I like a remake that does something like quality of life stuff. Don't change the game drastically, in my opinion, unless it's, you know, Final Fantasy VII remake that is like upgrading what it was. But I guess it's the difference between a remake and a remaster. But
exactly, yeah.
Like I wouldn't.
That's
want
what we debated about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want them to remake Ocarina of Time and then change a bunch of stuff in it. But like quality of life stuff, that helps. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
So if some quality of life changes that were like probably seen as, you know, okay back then, but nowadays like, oh, why would I? It's tedious. Then I'm all for it.
Yeah, like one
excited about that.
One of my favorite things that when The Last of Us was remade for PlayStation 4. Since the triggers were so bad on PlayStation 3 controllers, the top R1 and L1 were like the firing a gun and aiming controls. And they just switched it because it's like, oh no, they're better now on PlayStation 4. We can use like actual good triggers. So like, I was like a great remaster, remake like thing. I was like, yeah, perfect.
Button quality of life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Paper Mario. Are you a big Paper Mario?
Oh yeah, I saw that this video. Looks good. That like just from Paper Mario standpoint.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I like Paper Mario. I'm curious how if it's going to be traditional turn-based RPG or what they're gonna do with it. I hope they keep it turn-based.
Yep, I like the turn-based stuff.
Me too. So very exciting. Now,
but we didn't see that. It looked like a normal Mario game, if that made sense.
Yeah, it was just a traditional trailer, so who knows what we're gonna get. Now, James, we're getting to the news, and first before news stories, Ghost of Tsushima State of Play just dropped on the day of recording, but you know, yesterday for those viewers. What are your thoughts on the first gameplay look at Ghost of Tsushima?
I think this is going to be a beautiful cinematic game, and I wish the trailer went into the story, but at the same time, I'm like, I understand why, because it's from the earlier trailers, the story looks good. It's a rich story, Mongolian invasion. It's gonna be good, but they really pay attention to the art of the game. Not a lot of fast-paced fighting, but we could talk about like what that means. I mean, traditionally, like we've seen, like really like you have a lot of freedom in fighting, and like I look to God of War as like a centerfold of recent like good fighting games. This one looked a little bit more cinematic, if that makes sense. Like everything kind of was planned, if that like old Assassin's Creed. That's what it was like.
It gave me massive Assassin's Creed vibes, and I'm totally okay with that from like Odyssey and all of the recent Assassin's Creed. But I would agree, like the combat was interesting with like how the samurai moved, and there are two distinct play styles, and one is like literally Assassin's Creed of like sneaking around and killing people,
assassinating.
Yeah, and then the other one was like that samurai kind of, and I didn't get
go
like,
head first.
Yeah, and they were doing something with like certain like the R1, L1 prompts kept popping up to like.
Yeah, I wish they explained that. I don't know what that was. That was like something that some sort of chain. Yeah, you're like some chain like Arkham Asylum type chaining thing. I don't know.
That's kind of what it looked like. So I'm curious how that works. But that being said, like the way that they are incorporating samurai style into this video game could be really cool because no game has really done something like that, like modern era. I think like shoot, now I'm gonna forget what those games are called. Never mind. But
like the Souls games, or
no, it's way before those. Onimusha, yeah.
Oh,
Onimusha.
Oh, that's old.
But those were like kind of samurai-y games, and like they incorporate a little bit of that. But I don't think we've really seen that on a modern scale. So I'm kind of excited to see how that combat plays out.
Yeah, it just looked beautiful as well. Like they're really like. They were infatuated with like how good this game looks,
and they were touted about like the photo mode that you can add particle effects because they're like, we really did a lot of particle effects here.
Hey, take pictures of this game, please.
Yeah, right. Yeah, take pictures and like moving pictures because like stuff's cool. What really impressed me about the demo over combat, where the combat was like, yes, this looks great. What really impressed me though was the way that the environment tells you to go through the world. There doesn't look like there's a HUD in this game.
That is. If there's no HUD, that's a plus for me.
Awesome.
Because you're just gonna have to look at the environment and see like objectives or
when I love
like they have this little smokestack.
Yeah, the smokestacks that tells you where like people are in danger.
Beautiful.
But I love the idea of you go into your map, clicking where you want to go, and instead of doing a little waypoint or something that tells you how to get there or how many feet you are, the gusts of wind guide you. I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it's like, oh, the little yellow bird that flies and like tells you like there's something nearby, like a shrine, and follow the foxes. It's like the environment is your guide rather than just like the game of like setting a marker.
Telling you turn right here. Here's your 200 meters away. Yeah, exactly. And that's some people don't like that. And I'm one of those where if in limits, it's fine. When it's like overly like pop up. Here's how to do this. Here's how to do this. That like really gets to me. But if it's like one time, okay. Well, in this game, I didn't see any of that.
I love the idea of getting rid of the mini map because like one of the big things with Witcher 3 was that mini map. You'd pick something and it'd tell you the exact path to go through.
Exactly.
And you find yourself just staring at the mini map as like you drive your horse and you're just like looking in the little corner of the screen rather than like.
In Witcher 3 has an auto horse, so you just literally like get on a road, auto your run, and then it just goes right to the waypoints.
So I am way more hyped for Ghost of Tsushima now than I was like an hour and a half ago before I watched this.
Before we were like, what is this game? What is this game? What are they gonna talk about? And it was just a name for us, I'd say. But now, like, that was a really good state of play.
Oh, yeah. And it's 2 months away. That game is 2 months away.
We're getting... The Nintendo was just, like, had to show up today as well. It was just, like, Thursday. It just... Boop, here it is.
It's crazy.
July as well.
Yeah.
July is packed.
I mean, we go from The Last of Us Part 2 to Ghost of Tsushima within a month.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It's
Speaking of crazy, James, the news is crazy. The Guerrilla Collective is a huge indie showcase announced for June. This comes from Joe Screbbles at IGN. Do you have any prior knowledge about this?
Oh,
all right.
This is the first time for me.
The Media Indie Exchange has announced the Guerrilla Collective, a 3-day event focused on indie developers and publishers, taking place from June 6th to June 8th. It will make up as part of the IGN Summer of Gaming Showcase. Produced alongside the Kind of Funny Games Showcase and hosted by Kind of Funny co-founder and ex-IGN lovely man, Greg Miller. The event will begin on June 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern, and promises news and announcements for every platform. Some of the announced participants include Larian, which is Baldur's Gate 3, Thunderful, which is the Steam World Series, Zaum, which is a developer we really love for Disco Elysium, and Rebellion Sniper Elite. On June 7th, there will be a second online press event, and June 8th will include a day of gameplay demos and developer interviews. You can see a list of games currently announced with the developers on IGN involved in the showcase. The Guerrilla Collective event will also include Paradox Inside Broadcast and a digital version of the yearly PC gaming show and the Future of Games show. So, this is great news.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about kind of getting worried about how indies were going to show up, and I think we found a great way to do it.
So it's going to be completely like online kind of showcase?
Yeah, it's all online, like I think everyone's kind of transitioning to. Very, very cool.
I'm curious what Zaum is doing.
Right?
I heard like little whispers like that they're going to like port their game. I don't know if that was any truth to that.
I imagine we will see Disco Elysium on console.
Yeah.
I believe it's not even... No, I think it might be on some consoles, but I think it's coming to Switch. It's got to. It's a great
Switch.
Switch
That's what I heard about that. That was...
Yeah, I don't know if it's confirmed, but I can definitely see that. And I think we'll see a new game, because they got to show off, like, hey, we're not a studio just about Disco Elysium. We are about, like, these kind of RPGs.
They're like one of those studios that has probably one of the best, well-written type games ever.
Yes.
So if they can do something even... Or if someone approached them and be like, hey, can you do this game for us? That would even be even better.
Right.
So I'm curious. They're going to do very, very strong indie game.
And the list of studios is pretty impressive. I mean, you've got, like they said, Rebellion, and you've got...
Yeah, Baldur's Gate. So.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate, and it's like, okay, we're going to see some huge games coming through this. Coffee Stain Studios, which is that Deep Rock Galactic game.
Oh, the Deep Rock Galactic, that got recommended to me recently.
11-Bit Studios will be there, Frostpunk and this War of Mine.
Oh, Frostpunk? Ooh.
Yep. So we're going to see some pretty great developers kind of show up and show us what they're working on, which is very exciting.
When is this again?
June 6th through 8th. So it'll be on IGN, I'm sure, YouTube and everything. So, and from just listening to Kind of Funny, it sounds like there are actually genuinely big announcements in this. Like they are very excited about what's showing off, and it's not just going to be these little events.
I love indie games.
Yep.
So I can't wait.
And there is a rumored PlayStation 4 event coming in, or PlayStation 5 event coming in early June. So we'll see how this all links up with everything that's been announced and coming.
It's about time.
It's about time.
Show us the... Look at it. The power cord. Show us the power cord.
Show us the power cord. What's it going to look like?
Come on.
Is the box white or black? We don't know.
Yeah.
But a thing we do know is we're saving the date. Ubisoft Forward announced for July 12th. This comes from Ubisoft at Ubisoft News. With the physical gaming shows around the world postponed due to COVID-19 pandemic, Ubisoft will be hosting its first digital press conference called Ubisoft Forward on July 12th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get ready for an E3-style showcase with plenty of exclusive games, exciting reveals, and much more. We're getting another digital showcase. We're going to see a lot more of Valhalla. Maybe we'll see the first gameplay video of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
We better.
Shots fired, Xbox.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
I love their showcases though. Like it's always felt like real passion. Like there's they care really deeply for the work they do. So I like that. I'm very interested to see how they do it, because usually they incorporate a lot of celebrities and stuff to announce their games. And are they gonna have Jason Derulo introduce a Just Dance game? Oh, please no.
I mean, they will introduce Just Dance.
Yeah, they're gonna have Just Dance, but just I want that guy that made A Way Out. That I want him there
to introduce.
Even
Just
if he doesn't
Dance.
have a game, he's just there.
God, what is that guy's name? That guy's crazy.
Him and his brother, who also was in that game.
A Way Out, great game. Play A Way Out if you haven't. It's a great game.
That's a good co-op game.
Now, this is the biggest news story, and I think this is what we're going to spend by far the most time on in this show. Epic Games announces Unreal Engine 5 with the first PlayStation 5 footage. Now, this came from the Summer Game Fest event hosted by Jeff Keighley. He announced Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 on Monday, and then he said there is another pretty big reveal coming Tuesday, and everyone's like, what game is it going to be? And then they fucking blow our hair out of the water. And personally, with this gameplay demo, which if you have not seen the engine demo on YouTube, go watch it. It's so impressive. But I really wanted to play this game. I was like, I wish this was just a real game, because this looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
So this comes from Rebecca Valentine at GamesIndustry.biz. I thought she had a pretty good write-up. Epic Games has officially unveiled Unreal Engine 5 via a demo running on PlayStation 5 that offers the first look at gameplay on the next generation system. The video demo showcases a number of new and improved features coming to Unreal Engine 5, including improvements to sound, water physics, animation, and two specific technologies, Nanite and Lumen. Nanite is a new virtualized geometry technology that allows for film-quality source art to be imported directly into Unreal Engine 5 without bumping up against polygon count or memory budgets or a loss of in quality. So that just right away is insane. Like what they were able to do, they showed off that huge statue where they're like, it's got over, what was it, 5,000 trillion or whatever polygons in it.
Yeah, triangles.
Triangles.
No polygons. We're on triangles now.
We're on triangles, you're right.
Triangles the size of pixels.
Yeah, which is really
Pretty
interesting.
impressive.
They showed a whole thing where they broke down the pixels.
Yeah.
And it was not noise. It was just that's how many pixels there were and they were moving.
It looked like noise, but it's just,
like
just a lot of...
But then he showed the one statue and he goes, and they're like, wow, it's so impressive. It's super detailed. The amount of detail they're able to get out of an image. And then he goes, we can have 5,000 of those statues in a single room. And you're like, holy crap.
Yeah. It's on, that was running on PlayStation 5, right?
Yes.
Again,
yeah. It's
that
first
was
time...
also one of those things that was like impressive with this new technology.
Yes.
Gaming is going to blow up in a year with how much potential there is for realism. And
well, I was talking to, because I showed Madeline, my girlfriend, the demo, and just to be like, this is what video games can be, right? And I was like, the impressive thing about this, and we were looking at the dirt, there's like a section where they just basically look at the dirt, and it's really impressive. But what a movie could do is originally they could take a source image, import it in for like CGI to make, that's why movie CGI always looked way better than game CGI, is they were able to like import basically like images and construct them into the environment of like fully CG using green screen. Yeah. Well, now they can essentially do that in video games. So like you will get like
now it's not a lot of processing power to run the game and also like show you the image, render the image. So that yeah, you're right. You can have a full movie style game, which is
insane.
Yeah, when I think about it, it's like, man, that hasn't been.
I was like, imagine what Naughty Dog's engine can be if they can get that power out. And like how they're upgrading their own engine that already has like the best looking games.
Yeah, I mean, eventually the engines equal out. They all like grab the techniques.
I can't wait. And then of course there's Lumen. Lumen is a dynamic lighting technology that lets game worlds react to scene and light changes. With the shifts such as a light turning on and off, the sun changing angles, or a hole opening in the ceiling causing both direct and indirect light to accordingly change. So they showed a bunch of demos about how the light would basically shift and moving the light and how it's dynamically bouncing off things in the shadows in the water. It was crazy.
Yep.
The Unreal Engine 5 is set to go live, or set to go into preview in early 2021 with a full release in late 2021. And with the support of both next and current gen consoles, as well as PC, Mac, iOS, and Android. Projects built in Unreal Engine 4 will be compatible and can be moved to Unreal Engine 5 once it launches. Additionally, Epic Games has announced that it will release Fortnite as a launch title on next-gen consoles, and it will also migrate the game to Unreal Engine 5 some point mid-2021. Alongside its reveal of Unreal Engine 5 beginning today, Epic will now waive all royalties on Unreal Engine games up to the first $1 million in gross revenue, with the new terms of its lease agreement retroactively to January 1st, 2020. And finally, Epic has fully launched Epic Online Services, a free SDK integration that allows developers to include friends, matchmaking, lobbies, achievements, leaderboards, and Epic account systems in their games across PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, PC, Mac, iOS, and Android.
That's a question. Yeah. We were like looking at the list before for the summer games because this was part of the summer games reveals.
Yeah.
Epic wasn't on there.
They were.
Were they?
I believe they were.
I thought we were like looking about it and they weren't.
No, I think we were looking for someone else.
It wasn't Epic?
Let me. Yeah, I guess I can't look back at it. I believe they were on there. Well.
Okay, that's what I was wondering because I was like, this is basically an Epic.
No, it is totally an Epic reveal.
Yeah, I wasn't. Remember.
I think they were because I was like, oh wow, they have Epic. I'm sure we'll see Fortnite stuff, and then it was way bigger than Fortnite. It was.
Yeah.
And I think that's the interesting thing about like. This is so important to gaming in general. We're like, yeah, it's not this like a super exciting game reveal. It's not, the Superman game. From
it's an engine reveal, but that's something that you would have seen at E3. But again, like, why would you have needed to seen that at E3 when you could just boom that you saw what you need? Developers saw that everyone has their eyes on this, and someone who's like, let's say, who's worked on Unreal Engine or who wants to make a game on it, and they see this demo and they're like, wow, that's what is out there. Boom, I'm gonna immediately go use that source development kit, make it. Yeah. So I think it was more of like here's a calling card to anyone who wants to work with Epic on.
And just the future of what it can be.
Yep.
And there's one thing the article left out was that there's a great moment of the gameplay where she's climbing up like rocks. And they start to fall. And the 3D sound in the cave, they're able to like perfectly replicate like how stuff accurately happens. They can record it from like a natural setting and import it with like the spatial environment. And I was like, that was insane.
And the climbing was like, it wasn't planned out. It was intuitive with the environment, that's also just beautiful.
So this was meant to be revealed at GDC, and the demo was supposed to be playable at GDC. It was a GDC play.
But it's playable on PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. Crazy news. I'm very excited for it. Honestly, if this is where we're headed with new consoles, sign me up. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just another generation of gaming.
Yep. God, get ready. And get ready for an exciting week next week, because I'm sure we're going to get a lot more game reveals, because that's just what
it seems like we're getting weekly, and we needed it because starting to dry up here, but we know that summertime is the biggest time for game reveals. Yep. Glad it's still being kept alive by Jeff. Jeff is a damn saint.
Yep, really, seriously. So
really saving this industry.
Yeah, so good for him, good for Jeff Keighley. Keep your eyes posted to Summer Game Fest. It's been, so far the first week has not disappointed, and I'm sure it won't in futures as well.
Huge reveals.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking so. Whew. And that was this week in the gaming news. We are here every Friday to discuss gaming's biggest stories. Have a wonderful weekend.